TitleMatchNetwork.com.
How did things change when Bischoff took over?
Well, it was different. At first it was kind of an acclimation period. You know, he getting his feet wet, and he started doing things, and it was good. And then, you know, by the time the end came, there was a lot of it seemed like maybe arrogance. I'm not sure exactly, you know, the word that I'm looking for, but there was a lot going on that you could tell that we was going down a bad road. You know, it started, to me, the nWo was a huge, huge thing. But to me, one of the big mistakes that they made is when they tried to make every heel in the territory be an nWo, because then they were all the same. There was no difference. You know, they didn't have, you know, it was, and I know what they were trying to do. They was trying to make it look like an army, and it did to an extent, but then it just took away everybody else's gimmick. You know, they all became one thing to me, and I think that hurt us.
As far as Bischoff goes, do you think he was really in control of the company, or do you think the boys controlled him? Like, you know, you always hear different
No,
things.
I think he was in control, but he took advice from some key people, you know, and he followed good advice. You know, he listened to people that gave him good advice.
You talking about Hogan or Kevin?
Hogan and Kevin and Flair himself.
Right.
You know, Flair, different guys. He listened, you know, and he was good at being able to designate the difference of good advice and advice that was me advice. You know what I mean? That somebody said, "Oh, you got to do this, because that would make me look great," you know, or we should do this and this and this because it's going to make the company strong. And he became pretty good at being able to designate the difference between that and run with the good.
Do you think he came up with a lot of his ideas, or do you think the boys?
I think he'd come up with some, but I think that he would listen to the boys' ideas and put his twist on it.
Right. Did you ever get involved with the booking around this time period at all, or give any ideas?
No, just as an agent, you know, I didn't sit down and help them create ideas. I just listened to the ideas that they had and help them to come about. You know, they tell you what you want, and you go lay it out for them.
Later on, how did you wind up becoming part of the nWo as a referee? Whose idea was that?
I'm not sure whose idea it was. I was approached by Kevin Sullivan if I wanted to be a heel ref. I said, well, yeah,
Right.
that'd be fun, you know. They had me doing different stuff, and then I think it might have been Kevin's idea to get me in the nWo, because I did the little ski mask referee thing for a while when they was having matches with the empty,
Right.
you know, nobody in the crowd. They was bringing in enhancement guys and beating the crap out of them. I was out there in a goofy ski mask doing, you know, refereeing. And that was fun, though. And I think that was a lot was Kevin's idea, I think.
What are your thoughts on Kevin Nash and Scott Hall behind the scenes?
Kevin's a professional. Scott was a professional too. Scott just had some personal problems. You know, he was wide open. But to know Scott, you gotta like Scott.
Right.
You know, you can't meet him and know him without liking him. Sometimes you have to think, oh, come on, man, don't do that to yourself. You know, but Scott was a good guy. You know, deep down inside, he's a good guy. Kevin was a good guy too. My dad trained him, and he come from being a bouncer in a bar and come down to my dad's school. And next thing you know, he went to WCW, and they didn't have a clue what to do with him. Turned him into Oz and all kinds of stuff, and then they would start to give him a gimmick, and then they'd take it away, and then start to do something, and they'd take it away, and then finally he got frustrated and came up to WWE and became a star. Then they had to have him.
Yeah.
That's like I said earlier, he had to come up there and be a star.
They got him over, and then they took
yeah.
If you were to put maybe one of your matches that you refereed on a videotape for your grandkids to watch, what match would it be?
The one that I refereed?
Yeah. That you're involved in, or even a moment in the ring.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's hard to say. I would like for them to see my nWo stuff that I did as a heel, because I got to go out and actually just do some stuff. And even some of the interviews, they weren't telling me word for word what to say. I come up with some of my own, you know, a lot of that was my own stuff.
Right.
Because I felt more comfortable doing my own stuff. You know, somebody gives me a 3-minute promo of what they would say if they were mad. Well, hell, you know, why don't you do the promo? You know what I mean?
Right.
You show me you're mad, you know, because you ain't me. You know, you get mad different than I do. You know, I can show people how I get mad without some little nerd telling me how to do it. You know, I can show them how to get mad if they want to find out.
I was going to ask you, what are your thoughts on the ring? When Bischoff came into WWE as talent, what was your reaction? Even all the boys, what did they think about that?
When he started doing what? When he started
When he
actually
became
in the ring?
WWE as talent.
Well, nobody said much because he was the boss. But I didn't think anything that he did in the ring was all that spectacular, to be honest with you. I thought, Eric. But Eric knew that wasn't his strong suit. But he had involved himself so much in the angles that he pretty much had to do something in the ring.
Right.
And he knew that wasn't his strong suit. Like when he had the match with Leno. He was so nervous about that match, and so was Leno, that they talked about everything, and it was like, if we get lost, he'll tell you what to do. And it was, here I am. Okay, yeah, I'll tell you what to do. I'll really tell you what to do.
What was it like working with Jay Leno?
He was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't see a lot of him. He had his own little room. If all the wrestlers had their room, he certainly had his own.
Right.
And I didn't really meet him until they started going over stuff and did it. And then he talked to me because he knew if he got lost, that I was the guy he was going to come to. So,
Right.
But he seemed pretty cool. He didn't seem like some mega star that looked down his nose at people. He wasn't that way at all.
Who are some of the bigger stars that you met through the business that were not wrestlers, like entertainers and stuff like that? Obviously Rodman and Malone.
Rodman. I've met all kinds of
guys.
basketball players and football players, and I'm terrible with names. So because I've been on the road for 28 years,
Right.
I didn't get to stay home and watch CSI, and didn't get to stay home. So I don't know a lot of these people's names, but the redheaded lady that's on CSI, Marg Helgenberg or something like that, met her. She brought her kids to matches in L.A. The big African American guy that was on Green Mile, he's come around a couple times, and was in Talladega Nights. He's been in a ton of movies.
I think I know who you're talking about. He's
Big
jacked up.
Big jacked up bald headed
I
guy.
know
He
he
has
is.
a real deep voice.
Yeah.
He come around a couple times. He's real cool. Rob Reiner brought his kids around and met some of the guys in the back one time. Met all kind of people. See people in their airports and run into people. All kind of different. It's amazing how many pro athletes are big fans of wrestling. Pro football players and basketball players and baseball. Met all kind of people.
I guess. How weird was it for you to see yourself in a video game?
I thought that was cool. I wished I'd have got paid better for it.
Right.
They didn't pay me at all the first time, and they wasn't going to pay me the second time until I read them out for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Huh. Advice for anybody that wants to get into the business as a ref?
Yeah, have thick skin, and know that this ain't the most fun time. If you're expecting to break into the business, and it be camaraderie, fun on the road, like it used to be, it ain't that way no more. And they're going to run you till you drop, and when you do, they're going to replace you with somebody else that they can run till they drop. And you have to constantly be proving that you're humble and constantly be proving you're respectful. To me, once you're there, you're there. If you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. And you don't have to always be kissing somebody's ass to prove it. And they kind of expect that. So that's probably another reason why I'm at it.
All right.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.